track journey? All right, so.
Well, that's just for the junior high and
All
high
right,
school.
so what we're gonna do, there's actually 2 PowerPoints, one's for TNT, one's for Trek Journey. Yeah, I probably won't be going to the Trek Journey PowerPoint. When we hit the games, I mean, relays are pretty much the same and the other kind of stuff, so we're just gonna kind of talk about it. Really, the rule book, you need to read the rule book, because I'm not gonna go over every single rule for every single game that we're gonna do. I'm just gonna tell you some of the little things that gotchas that, about a particular game, what judges look for to disqualify teams. I mean, we're not going out of our way to disqualify your kids. So we'll kind of go over that, but we're gonna go over a few things up front. Welcome. Everybody wins in the games, all right? Well, not everybody wins first place in a physical competition, but everybody really wins, all right? Moms, dads, everybody, we get to celebrate the bodies that God gave us and being able to be in an athletic competition. We get to cheer our kids on, you know, whether they're your own physical kids or the kids that go to your church or even other kids. It's just great to be out there having a blast. What I say in the meeting that we have as coaches with the line judges and the circle director, what I say to everyone is, we're just the eye candy. The games and that kind of stuff, it's just the draw, all right? Ultimately, what we're doing is we're trying to get unsaved moms and dads, brothers and sisters to show up and hear that gospel message. So what we do on the floor as a coach or a line judge, and you as a coach, and even your kids, we don't want to distract from that gospel message that happens in the end. So one momentary outburst like, oh, that's the worst call I've ever seen, that kind of stuff. I mean, that speaks volumes. We've all seen those horrible videos that they have on the news of some, you know, football coach going off the deep end or something like that. We don't want any of that. We don't want to have a momentary lapse in our judgment, destroy our testimony, and destroy somebody listening to that gospel message because they're thinking about what we did over here. Does that make sense? So even if you think the line judge made the wrong call, okay, this is the tough part, all right? Take a deep breath, talk to them about it, okay? And the circle director will talk about it and we'll say, oh, we made a mistake, or maybe it's just you having a misunderstanding about the rule. But there's no real reason to get all up in arms and rant and rave like, you know, the crazy people we see on TV. Does that make sense? I don't think I've had anybody like come up there and really get upset with me, ever. And I've been a line judge and a circle director for 25 years or something like that, so we're gonna have a blast out there. All right, let's cruise along, enough of that stuff. Hey, we have the games, Trek and Journey, it's to help motivate your clubbers. I mean, Warren Krupp would, if he was here, he had an issue that happened this morning, so he can't be up here doing this, but he'll tell you that when he was a kid, you had to pass N number of sections to be on a team. He did that. That was all he did for the year. Why? Because he wanted to be in the Awana Olympics, or now it's the Awana Games, all right? And that's great. If you've got kids that are that way, we don't mind. We want your kids to participate. We want an opportunity for unsaved kids, parents, moms and dads to hear that gospel message. Your kids should be hearing the gospel message at your club anyway, right? We're gonna run this event professionally. We're gonna start on time. We can't really end on time because games take various amounts of time, but we will end and do this in a professional manner so that everybody says, wow, this was an awesome event. I really like this, all right? I've been to a few Awana games over the years in other regions or whatever, and I remember how they were run when I was a kid in the 60s, all right? It was a 4-hour plus event, all right? We're not gonna do that. We're gonna try to get this done in 90 minutes to 2 hours, okay? Okay, let's see, what else we got? Hey, you know, second place is just another thing for first place loser. That's really not what we're about, okay? Everybody's winning, okay? We're gonna honor the Lord. Bodily exercise profits little, but godliness is profitable unto all things, having the promise of the life that is now and that which is to come, all right? Listen, we're having a blast out there, and the whole idea is to honor God. Did you get the picture?
Not yet.
I'm going to wait till you click, and then I'm going to go to the next one.
Thank you.
I wanted to do it just when you were like that.
Yeah, right.
But, all right, cost is $3 to get in. It's at the same place we've had it. Coaches, teams, you don't gotta pay. Pre-kindergarten, everybody's free. Pastors, spouses, they're free. So a question came up before, well, what if they're like the part-time pastor or whatever? Fine, I don't care. They're free. All right? Now, if somebody comes up there and they say, I'm a pastor and they're not a pastor, we're still gonna let them in for free. All right? Because they need to be hearing the gospel message or something. All right? But don't kill us, say like, everybody that, works in your Awana Club is technically a pastor, so they get in free, because we got to pay for the event. Circle assignments. Hey, you're seated based upon past performance. There's this very complicated looking spreadsheet, I've seen it, and I was a math major, and I was trying to figure out what they were doing, and it tracks like the last 15 years, who won and all that kind of stuff, and that determines who's against who on what circle. The best teams are against the best teams. The teams that don't score well, they've always gotten fourth place, or if you're a brand new church, they're all against one another. The last thing we want, now for Truck and Journey, there's really not that many teams, so, you might be running into a buzzsaw, who knows, or maybe you're the buzzsaw, I don't know. But we don't want a TNT team that's brand new to be out there against some team that just got a history of winning for the last 20 years. Why? Because it's no fun getting slaughtered. And your kids get, right? So we seed the teams, okay? Volunteers. Hey, so we have online registration. I will ask that you make sure you look at the different divisions that are there. All right, for Trek Journey, it's pretty easy. We ask that we have your contact information, the name of your church on there, and the email address for the contact. So that's usually the person filling out the form. And then for your coach, we want their name and email address, and we need your volunteers' names and email addresses, okay? Technically, according to the rule book, you're not registered if you haven't done it online, you haven't paid, you haven't given us coaches' information and volunteer information, okay? So you're not technically registered, even if you gave us the check or you did PayPal. If we don't have your coaches' information, we don't consider you registered. Now, it doesn't take very much, and we'll send you an email, hey, you forgot to put, coach's information there. Just because sometimes we have that contact information for a person, and we're sending out emails, and it never gets to the coach. Make any sense? All right, good. Same place. We actually have, 2 TNT sessions, and I'm not sure these are the correct times. I could be wrong there. It's on the website, the tentative times that we have. We have TNT session in the morning, we have one in the afternoon. We typically run one flight of TNT in the afternoon, one flight of Trek Journey, and then at noon it's Sparkles. Does that make sense? We've been doing it the last couple of years. Some people are kind of saying, well, why are the Trek Journey kids there at the same time as the TNTers? It lets the TNTers see the older kids and know that there's something beyond 5th, 6th grade. And the kids love to watch the older kids play those games and do them so fast. All right. Okay. So this one, we don't know about this one because we might be running it here. It really depends on the number of teams we have. Okay?
That's last year's date. This year is
March 9th.
March 9th, 2019.
All right, so here we go. We have no Division 1. There really is no Division 3. Division 3 is for TNT, it's a co-ed team. So we have Division 2, which is 10 to 12 players. Division 4, which is 5 to 6 players. And no Division 1, which is the big teams. For Trek Journey, it's 10 to 14 players. All right. And the rule books tell you for the Trek Journey kind of what the ratio of guys to gals is.
One of the questions we had that came in last year was, can we please track to make sure that if there was option of having Division 1 again, that it would work. We had 2 teams that might have been able to field out, and they would have had to have half their kids not playing on the other half. Our goal is more participation. We want to have, if it turns out that you have 2 Division 2 teams because you had 16 kids, we can work with that a lot better rather than having having kids getting cut. I mean, we'd rather have them here. Also, if it turns out that, by God's grace, that we do grow and have enough Division I teams consistently, praise be to God,
We'll go for it.
we'll go for it. But if we don't have at least 3, it's going to be difficult. Ideally 4, because if it turns out that we have 3, that means we're going to have to cut one of the Division II teams out to put 3 teams in. So it's one of those, because we have a limitation of 4 teams on a circle generally, we don't want to run a 5-way unless we have to, like we did last year. We want to be fair to all the groups, not just to the 2 churches that can be able to field a 2A. And I've done 2A.
2-ways are no fun.
2As are not much fun.
They're not fun for the kids, and they're not fun for the parents in the stands, and they're not fun for the judges.
Because of the 4 times that I've done 2As, the score has been on average 70 to 20. And you get 2 points per 10 events. I mean, sometimes they weren't even finishing, so.
Yeah.
Thanks,
All
John.
right. So yeah, 2-ways are not a lot of fun, especially when you're watching that tug of war take place. I mean, you can't fake your way out of that one. All right. So again, we're matching up teams with their level of experience. It's saying that again. Da-da-da. Now, Division IV teams, that's intended for small clubs. So if you can field, this is talking to the TNTers, right? If you can field a 10 to 12 person team for boys and girls, by all means do it, all right? Don't say, oh, I can have 2 Division IV teams. I'll be honest with you, Division IV, your kids get to play more. But seeing how we're seeing a shrinking number of churches there, and churches can't field the 10 to 12, a lot of times what's happening is they're showing up with 8 or 7 or even 6 for Division II, which is supposed to be 10 to 12. So we came up with this Division IV, where it's just 5 to 6 players. It's not co-ed, 5 to 6 players. They play a lot of games, okay? There only 1 game got dropped out of that for Division IV, and that's the sprint relay. All right, we changed it up a little bit from last year. All right, so we're gone. 2 coaches allowed on the floor. This is for Trek Journey and TNT Division II. Division I, or Division IV, which is the small team for Trek or TNT, the 5 to 6 players, you really don't need 2 coaches. Okay, does that make sense? If you have to have 2, all right, fine. Yes?
How do you have a coach to do with the kid going to the restroom while the rest of the team's on the
Parents
floor?
got to do in the stand at that point. Because otherwise, what could happen is that we could end up with, instead of 2 flights there, we could end up with 4 flights of Division IV and then have all these extra coaches. Does that make any sense? So we're trying to think, if we're jammed with Division IV, we could end up with 4 times 6 plus the 2 coaches per team. We're not going to be able to physically fit that many people on a line. Does that make sense?
So that is new, because last year we had 2 coaches.
No, we did
No,
not.
we didn't? Okay.
For Division IV, 1 coach. Yes?
So if you have a boys team and a girls team, then you would essentially still have 4 coaches, yeah? You'd have
For Division II.
For Division
You
II,
have 2 for the boys and
2 for, yeah. So this is for Division II
Yeah.
or Trek Journey, all right? It's 1 coach if it's Division IV. That's the small team, okay? If that honestly is a problem, fine, we'll just, I'm the guy that wrote the rule book, so we'll change it, okay?
And if you have anyone with special needs to have a one-on-one aid, that does not count against your coach limit.
The bathrooms are really close to the gym. They're-
Yeah, the bathrooms.
Across the hall.
Trek Journey, they don't need somebody going to the bathroom with them. It's, it's usually the Sparkies, even TNTers. I mean, if you got a parent in the stand, you just go, can you take them? Kind of thing. We really don't want you doing bathroom breaks, all right? Get all that done beforehand. Oh, one other thing is, there's no water bottles on the floor. That's a spillage type issue, and then we can end up with somebody getting slipping and hurting and that kind of stuff. All right, nobody's in the roped off area, that's the playing area. And then one other thing is, as a coach, this is for Sparkies, hey, the coaches can go out there and place their kids. TNT Trek Journey, everybody's behind the line. Everybody's sitting down. The only people that are standing are maybe the coach when the game's playing, or the kids actually physically playing that game. All right, does that make sense? Because what happens is, you're so much bigger, Trek Journey especially, you're standing up, you're blocking the view of the spectators in the stands because 10 kids are standing up, okay?
We're also making a change to that if the clubbers are lined up in the wrong spot because they didn't have the instructions to work and coach correctly,